Your next act comes all the way from Bali.
Woo!
Round of applause if you like my coat. So, I'm Janet, I'm a boomer, and I have 3 adult children, 3 daughters, 2 millennials, and 1 Gen Z. Now, here's my dilemma. My middle child, my millennial, the black sheep, her term, not mine, gave me this coat, but it was my Gen Z vegan climate activist daughter who told me, Mum, this is a fast fashion coat, it costs $30. Just by wearing it, you're promoting sweatshops in Asia. So, what to do? So here's what I'm thinking. For the first half of the show, I'm going to wear the coat, and then for the second half, I'm going to take it off. That way, I'm making everyone happy. And if everyone's happy, then I'm happy. I'm so glad I got that sorted. So anyway, for Christmas, my Gen Z vegan climate activist daughter gave me a book. Oh, here it is. Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. My first impulse was to say, wait till you have children. But that would have kind of only proven her point. So instead, I said to myself, if only your mother had been my mother. If only you'd had my mother as your mum. Because my mother, she was a frustrated artist, and she channeled all her unprocessed energy into creative ways for making my life a misery. Her favourite game was hide and seek. So I would get to hide, and she would seek me out with the wooden spoon. Her love languages were physical touch and words of affirmation. So as she was whacking me with the wooden spoon, she would say, "You naughty, naughty girl." She loved being the bearer of good news. So one day she said, "Janet, today I was talking to your teacher, and she confided in me that in the school records you have an A after your name." Oh, A grade student? No, A for anxious. So my mother's great legacy was passing on to me her OCD. So every time I went to the bathroom, I would count out the number of squares of toilet paper according to my age. So when I was 4, I would count out 4 squares, and that's all I would allow myself to use. Turning 5 was the best year of my life. But Mum's real mission, her real purpose in life, was to be the cavity crusader. She wasn't going to allow a single hole in any one of my little toothy pegs. So accordingly, any type of lolly, even a harmless jelly bean, was absolutely forbidden in our house. She did allow me the occasional dried date. Tooth rotters, she called lollies, tooth rotters. So accordingly, every day I would go down to the local cake shop and stare through the glass at the most forbidden sweet treat of all. It was 2 gorgeous meringues sandwiched with mock cream and a glacé cherry on top. And I would lie in bed imagining that I was eating this forbidden treat, which had a name. It was an Annabella. So by the time I was 6 squares of toilet paper old, I devised a plan. I borrowed 12 cents of Mum's milk money, and I coerced my friend Belinda to sneak out of school at lunchtime, and we ran down to the baker's shop where I bought my first Annabella. And I'll never forget pulling it out of the white paper bag and my eyes filled with wonder. And just as I was about to take my first bite, who should drive past at that very moment but my mother? And worse, she didn't stop. She did a left turn into the school. So what else could I do except give Belinda my Annabella? And I watched as she just scoffed it in her face. I've still got this image of her covered in meringue and cream. Well, I had to face our headmaster, Mr. Dad, who stood me up in front of the whole school, 350 students, and publicly established me, made it official, that I was the naughtiest pupil in the history of Hunters Hill Primary. So, however, all of that to say that even though I probably did have reason to resent my mother, I probably did have reason to resent her because she did kind of suck the sweetness out of my childhood. In fact, I could have turned it into a lifelong grudge if I'd wanted to. I could have done all of that. But I would never, ever have given her a book on how to for Christmas. Oh my God! So it made me think that we have all of these generations of parents who are pretty safe assuming that their children, their adult children, would honour and respect them. We boomers may well be the very first generation of parents who actually have to earn that respect. So I swallowed my pride and I read the book. And I discovered there are 4 types of emotionally immature parents, and I'm definitely one of them. I recognise it straight away. I'm the people-pleasing passive parent. So we're pretty good for most of the time, but any moment there's a conflict, we're like a Teflon-coated frying pan. We just let it slide. So I thought maybe I have to do a Gandhi and be the change that my Gen Z vegan climate activist wants to see. So I decided I was going to transform from being the passive people pleaser to the active activist of climate change. And so, a few days later, I found myself at the supermarket checkout when the checkout person asked me the question, "Have you got your own bags?" To which I replied, as always, "Oh, sorry, I forgot." You see, I have this thing called short-term memory loss. I don't own just a couple of pre-loved shopping bags. I actually have a car boot full of them. Because every time I drive into that shopping centre car park, I am so focused on remembering where I've parked my car that I totally forget to get my bags. It's true, I did it again just the other day. So then the checkout person asked me the second question, "Would you like to buy some bags?" And this is when I think of my Gen Z vegan climate activist daughter. No, forget the bag. The planet doesn't need another shopping bag. Let's just put everything straight in the trolley. "Well, good for you," she says. Well, that's what I think she should have said. Until I realised that without the plastic bags, now I'm fully confronted by what I've bought. So, has anyone heard of this keto diet? I think I might have mentioned it to a couple of you. Yeah. So, in the keto diet, it actually encourages you to eat meat. And the reason is that it's actually good for memory loss. So in my trolley is every type of animal protein you can possibly. So this is when I can feel my Gen Z vegan climate activist daughter perched on my shoulder, berating me about the evils of meat in the same way that my mother berated me about the evils of tooth rotters. Little did I realise when I was pregnant with my Gen Z vegan climate activist daughter, I was about to give birth to my mother. So, before I go into a total shame spiral, I'm saved by the phone. "Oh, hello. Oh, it's my Gen Z vegan climate activist daughter. What's up?" That's Gen Z speak for "Hello, Mum, I love you." This is my chance, I believe, to tell her about my transformation. "Darling, well, I forgot my shopping bags again," and she says, "Oh, I do that all the time." You what? Yeah. I forget my shopping bags all the time. I just take my tofu, my tempeh, my dairy-free yog, my chicken, my bacon, my not dogs, and stuff them down my jacket. Now, there's something that happens when my daughter does her plant-based food speak. It brings out something in me that I can only describe as carnivore's Tourette's. Her plant rant brings out my inner brat, my inner bratwurst. Well, so instead of celebrating this golden mother-daughter moment, what I say is, if I took these frozen meat pies, this double-smoked ham, chicken livers, rack of lamb, gourmet lamb sausages, beef jerky, meat lovers pizza, and whole Christmas turkey and stuff them down my jacket, I'd freeze my bloody tits off. Hello? Hello? No. So, a few days after that episode, my Gen Z, I think I'm transforming already. She called me and she said, Mum, I've got a new name for you. And I said, oh, what is it? She said, it's Boomer Brat. Boomer Brat. And weirdly, it reminded me of a beautiful expression from Carl Jung, which is the greatest burden you can place on a child is the unlived life of its parent. And I thought, who is a Boomer Brat? A Boomer Brat is someone who lives their life to the full. A Boomer Brat is someone who knows it is not her job to make other people happy. Her first requirement is to make herself happy. A Boomer Brat does something not because she has to, but because she loves to do it. And a Boomer Brat does it with the people that she wants to hang out with, not the people she has to hang out with. And a Boomer Brat can start something at 64 and still do it because she has to. But most important of all, a Boomer Brat will wear any coat that she wants to, even if it is inappropriate and a little bit dotty, because that's who she is. Thank you.